In the 1980s to 1990s, the NBA was not as big as it is now. Nowadays, the NBA has multiple different networks it streams on. ABC, ESPN, TNT, and even its own NBA TV. It reaches past the borders of the US, with about a quarter of the current NBA players being international. But a couple decades ago, the NBA was more of a niche sport. It was only streaming on one network with limited airtime. It had nowhere near the same global marketing it does now. So it had to compete with baseball, American football, European football, and so on. However, everything seemed to change almost overnight. But what if I told you this huge explosion in popularity didn't start on a hardwood floor with an orange ball, but instead a clay court with a green ball? Tennis. Tennis is what would help turn NBA to the game we know it is today. Not only does this story not begin on a basketball court, it starts over 40 years before the NBA was founded. In 1904, in the 76ers city of Philly, two men came together, Frank P. Mitchell and Charles M. Ness. They founded a company simply titled after their names. Mitchell and Ness started out as a small company that prided itself on the creation of tennis rackets. The most important thing was their desire for quality and precision. These tennis rackets were an art, an illustration of their craftsmanship and dedication, stringing each of the rackets by hand. As the years progressed, they expanded this same craftsmanship to other sports equipment, making golf clubs and eventually, in 1940, jerseys for Little League teams and eventually high-level local teams like the Phillies and the Eagles. Fast forward another 40 years, and in 1983, Mitchell and Ness almost went bankrupt. Around the same time, the NBA was having their own issues as well. The NBA ratings between 1970 and the early 1980s were decreasing badly. The NBA had made its way to streaming on CBS, but not like it is today. The games were only partially being played, or sometimes not at all, with CBS prioritizing their TV shows that were on at the same time. The era was also notorious for being on tape delay, meaning the games were streamed hours later, sometimes not streaming until 11:30 p.m. In 1983 in particular, Game 1 of the NBA Finals came on CBS with only 7 minutes and 37 seconds left in the first quarter. With the exception of Larry Bird and Magic, less people were watching basketball. So both companies were headed in a downward trajectory around the same time. That was until one small action would save them both. In 1983, a customer walked into Mitchell and Ness and asked them to repair a 1960s Pittsburgh Pirates game-worn vest and his 1949 St. Louis Browns game-worn shirt. Mitchell and Ness were able to fix the jerseys for the customer, and it sparked innovation. These jerseys were both older, made out of material and designs that were no longer being used. What if they did that with other jerseys? And so, Mitchell and Ness started turning their direction towards a new project. Introducing the throwback jersey. A jersey that paid homage to nostalgia and to old jerseys with past designs, while still encompassing styles and cultures of the present. Retro logos, colors, old players, reliving legendary players and moments that were iconic. These jerseys were different and created a symbol of tribute to the games to which they originated. the style started taking off, even more so when celebrities started wearing them. Enter hip-hop. Hip-hop artists were always trend-setting, expressing bold styles. This was especially shown in the 90s and 2000s with flashy accessories and aesthetics that made a statement to their status. Throwback jerseys were the perfect cherry on top to this fashion sense. You could name any rapper at the time and they were rocking a throwback jersey. Notorious B.I.G., Tupac, Jay-Z, Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, and N.W.A., and so on. It took the nation by storm, and the NBA picked up on it. In 1999, Mitchell and Ness would sign a deal with the NBA for them to make throwback jerseys officially for them. Even today, all NBA throwback jerseys are made through Mitchell and Ness. The craze only continued more and more. NBA players and rappers became intertwined as both copied each other's styles, with people like Allen Iverson becoming iconic for his streetwear. Nowadays, Mitchell & Ness makes a lot of headwear for sports, meaning you could own one you bought from Lids and not even know it. This renaissance of the NBA and throwback jerseys opened up basketball and sports as a whole to a whole new demographic. Before, jersey sales and TV ratings mainly came from a more adult fan base, people that were already into sports and interested in basketball. They knew the game and liked it from a technical perspective. But these jerseys, with the help of hip-hop, made a statement. It was no longer your dad or grandpa's game. It was time for the younger audience to take over, bring excitement to the game, break the rules, whatever it took. The NBA was fostering a new wave of the game, whether they realized it or not. On top of this, the NBA was seeing batches of new and exciting talent enter. Shaquille O'Neal, Hakeem, Vince Carter, Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing, all of course got their own throwback jerseys that were worn everywhere. The NBA was becoming exciting, flashy, bold, just like the jerseys. As time went on, and after certain events like the Mouse at the Palace, the NBA tried to halt this by introducing dress codes and other restrictions. But that didn't stop the progression of the players' personalities and the personality of the game itself. Once the dress code was modified, players even today, like LeBron, Steph, and so on, continue to wear flashy suits and outfits. Players continue to make flashy dunks, passes, and shots. The NBA entered a new era that it hasn't left, bringing more attention and attraction to the sport, leaving it forever changed. Without that one man walking in to fix his jerseys, Mitchell and Ness, and perhaps the NBA as a whole, could have vanished into obscurity. That one act and one old tennis company helped shape the NBA's future into what it is today, with its global stage and marketing and flashy, bold plays. As always, guys, if you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe, share the video around, all that good stuff, as it really does help me out. I'm trying to hit 1K subs by the end of the year. And as always, I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out.
This is not okay. This needs to stop now.